My beloved of Canada, you who walk this vast land from coast to coast, hear me. You have no idea what your soul is about to feel. But let me say this first. If I could whisper in your ear right now across this Canadian soil, I would say, "Hey, you. Yes, you. You're not reading this by mistake. I was sent for you, and only you, child of the maple leaf. Because something rare is happening in the spirit right across the true north. A shift, a portal. And if you don't listen now, if you skip this again, Michael says you may never be reached again. Darling soul, heaven is tired. Archangel Michael says he has tried everything to reach you here in Canada. Feathers, numbers, dreams, whispers. But you keep scrolling. You keep skipping. You want a sign. This is the sign. And if you walk away, Michael says you'll cry for the rest of your life because you felt this moment in your gut and you ignored it. The angels aren't playing this time and you can feel it. That tight pull in your chest right now isn't anxiety. It's an alarm from heaven. If you ever felt God left you alone here in this northern land, let this prove he never did. But he's saying now this might be your last knock before the silence. So, pause everything else. You only have 10 seconds left, and this message will close itself. I'm not here to scare you, but I am here to awaken you, my chosen ones. Because this time, Archangel Michael says, the warning is real. The truth is, if you read every word of this message, something will happen in your life that had to be delayed until you finally listened. And you didn't open this by accident. The one you love in heaven begged for this message to reach you. You know who they are. You feel them around you all the time in this quiet expanse of Canada. But here's the part that makes Archangel Michael cry. Every time heaven sends you a gift, you run away. You skip. You doubt. But now it's different. Because tonight, yes, tonight there is something shifting in your home. A spirit is watching. A decision is forming. And if you skip this message, Michael says, you won't be protected from what comes next. Beloved soul, you're not in danger. You're in divine urgency. And God isn't trying to punish you. He's trying to redirect you. Because where you're headed right now, it's not where you're meant to be. You're feeling tired all the time. You're pretending you're okay. But God is saying, child, you were never meant to survive life. You were meant to be chosen by it. Michael is tired. He is begging you. Not because he's angry, but because your miracle is here and you still don't see it. You keep saying, I'm waiting for a sign. Michael says, this is the sign. This is your last knock. This is your spiritual test. Love letter. Wait before you scroll. Just one thing. If you've been feeling that a miracle is close, that something huge is about to break, click subscribe right now so you don't miss the moment of release. The message that will come next might be the exact thing you've been praying for. Don't let the enemy distract you at the edge of your breakthrough, because hear this now. Michael says someone has already made a decision about you behind your back, and it affects your home, your love, your future. But if you keep reading, God will flip the entire table, and you'll be the one holding the crown. They thought they could block you. They thought they could curse your name, but they didn't know. You are the one God marks with fire and favor. And here's something only you will understand. You've seen glimpses of this blessing before, in dreams, in people, in moments, but it always slips away. Michael says it didn't slip. It paused because you kept skipping the call. You didn't finish the message. You didn't stay long enough for heaven to reveal the secret. But if you stay now, if you stay, the floodgates are going to open, and you'll understand why you cried so hard for so long. You'll see it clearer than ever. Why God blocked that person, why you lost that job, why your own family turned against you. It was all part of the setup, because he was planning a comeback so divine. Even the angel said, this one will shock everyone and your enemies. Michael says they're watching. They're curious. But if you open this fully, they will fall silent, embarrassed, ashamed. Because you were heaven's undercover miracle. They didn't know it, but God was protecting you by hiding you. And now he is revealing you. But only if you stay, only if you listen, You want to know what's coming? Someone's about to confess something to you, something they kept hidden for a long time. It's connected to a person who wronged you, but what they say will finally bring justice to your heart. Michael says, you will not cry for revenge anymore. You will cry from release, because God is setting your name free. But it must start now, not later. Not after I eat or when I have time. Because heaven doesn't wait for the busy, it visits the open. And you're cracked wide open right now. The tears, the silence, the loneliness, they weren't weaknesses, they were portals. They made you ready for this. And when God knows that your heart is finally ready, He does not only send comfort, He also places a clear path before you so you can begin moving forward with faith. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing across the Canadian plains and cities, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear. You are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why a simple system has been placed in front of you. A 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system, a path where each day brings you a focused prayer, a small financial action, and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation, take that first step today. This could be the moment your life begins to change. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comments below. And this is only one part of the direction heaven is placing before you. Because what Michael is about to reveal next concerns the protection surrounding your life right now. And that's why Michael says this message will vanish. And if you miss it, you may never feel this kind of divine protection again. So stay, my beloved of Canada. Don't you dare scroll, because something unexpected is about to happen in your phone, in your home across the true north, in your heart. You'll know it's heaven because it will come gently, but shake everything and you'll say, oh my God, that message was real. So here's the final call. Michael says if you skip again, he will stay silent. He will back away and you will cry. But if you open your spirit right now, my chosen ones of Canada, if you say, yes, God, I'm here, then something hidden in the spiritual realm will unlock with your name on it. That's not magic. That's prophetic appointment. And it's been waiting for you to wake up. So don't skip. Don't hurt heaven again. You already lost too many chances. Don't let this be the one that haunts you. Archangel Michael says, this was the last time I was going to try. Please, beloved, don't make me walk away. He's not threatening you. He's mourning for you, because God has a message that was meant to make you dance, but if ignored, it will make you weep and love. You've wept enough. Open your soul. Stay here. Don't rush. Your miracle knows your name, and it is finally knocking. You felt the delay. You've questioned why everything you try ends in silence, why the love you give doesn't come back the same, why people walk away as soon as you need them the most. And heaven says it's not because you're cursed, it's because you're called. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to be set apart, marked, guarded, protected, even from the things you once begged for. God heard your private cries across this vast land from coast to coast, even the ones where your lips didn't move, but your soul screamed. Please, someone see me. Someone save me. And Archangel Michael, he saw it. He stood by your bed at night while you shook with pain. He heard your thoughts when you said, maybe I'm just not good enough to be loved back. But now he's here, loud, clear, stern, and his voice doesn't shake anymore because time is running out. Michael is no longer whispering signs. He's sending divine commands because he's seen what's being plotted behind closed doors. He's seen the fake smiles, the jealous hearts, the spiritual traps meant to confuse you into quitting. He's watched it all. And now he's saying, enough. You're not weak, you're just drained. And it's not your fault. You were born with a spiritual frequency that intimidates even the most confident spirits. They don't know why they're drawn to you and then turn against you. But heaven does because you carry a light that exposes darkness without trying. And that's why they ghost you, mock you, copy you, hurt you, blame you. But even through all that, you still hoped. You still believed. You still waited for love to feel like home. Michael says, your wait wasn't wasted because now, right now, the very prayers you whispered in your car, under your pillow, in the middle of your shower tears, they have reached God's feet, and He has moved. You're about to witness a turn of events so divine, so unexpected, you will literally gasp. People will ask you, how did that happen? And you will say, I have no idea. It was all God. But first, you must obey this moment. You must stay present because if you click away, Michael says he will honor your free will and let you go. And if he lets you go now, you will miss what you were born to receive. This is not a guilt trap. This is a soul rescue. This is what your ancestors cried out for. This is what your future children will thank you for. You are the one, the curse breaker, the chosen, the miracle that will shift your whole bloodline. But you must choose right here, right now. Because Michael says the door is open, but it will not stay that way forever. And you can feel it. Something is shaking. You feel like something big is about to hit. That's because it is. There is a letter in the spirit with your name on it, sealed by heaven, blocked by doubt. But if you surrender in this moment, that letter will reach you, and inside a truth about your future that will give you the strength to breathe again. So, what will you do? Close the tab, or stay long enough for God to whisper the miracle you've been begging for. Michael says, you don't need more time. You need more truth. And here it is. That person who walked away from you, they weren't your punishment. They were your protection. That door that slammed in your face, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. That delay that made you question your faith, it wasn't denial, it was preparation. Because what God is about to do for you is so sacred. So heaven assigned that He had to let you be broken so you would stop chasing the things that were beneath your destiny. Yes, you gave your heart to the wrong people. Yes, you believed lies wrapped in love. Yes, you stayed longer than you should have. But God says you're still worthy. You're still chosen. You're still mine. Michael says, if you walk away now, the demons that have been circling your name will gain access again. But if you stay, they will scream. They will run. They will watch as everything they try to destroy is crowned by the Most High, because your time is here. Not next month, not next year, now. So don't rush. Don't scroll. Don't miss your reversal. What the enemy meant for evil, God is flipping into your miracle. But only if you don't skip this message. Michael says this is not motivation. This is divine instruction. Obey it or cry for the rest of your life wondering what could have happened if you just listened. And you know what? You've already missed enough. But heaven is merciful. And today, Michael fought to give you one more shot. Will you use it, or will you skip it like all the other signs? Then listen closely, beloved Canadians, because this part is where heaven leans in. Archangel Michael is not just speaking now. He's pleading. And when an archangel pleads, something in the universe has already shifted. The scroll has already been opened. The trumpet has already been lifted. And your name is echoing through the corridors of eternity. Because something attached to you, a promise, a prophecy, a long-awaited miracle, is now reaching its divine hour. But here's the thing. This moment is delicate. It's not loud. It's not wrapped in glitter and thunder. It's quiet. It's sacred. And if you let your doubt get louder than your faith, you will miss what was sent only to you. There is a spiritual countdown ticking in the background right now. Every second you hesitate, something either draws nearer or slips further away. And Archangel Michael has said it again. You only have 10 seconds left to decide. After this, if you skip, I will not speak again. Why so intense? Because your heart has been heavy for too long. You've cried into your own hands. You've whispered prayers that no one else heard. You've clapped for others while your soul bled silently. And heaven cannot bear to watch you delay your joy any longer. You don't even know how many times Michael blocked what was coming for you. You don't even know how close the enemy came to touching your mind, your Canadian home, your breath. You only felt tired. You only felt overwhelmed. But in the background, Michael was drawing his sword. And now he's saying, I can't keep fighting for someone who keeps walking away from my voice. Yes, this is that serious. Because there is someone watching you, someone in your circle. They laugh with you. They smile in your face. But behind closed doors, they are feeding poison into the atmosphere of your name. They're delaying things, blocking connections, twisting your story. And if you don't listen to this message until the end, Michael says they will succeed. But if you stay, he will expose them by name. He will strip every mask. And not only will they fall away, they will be replaced by someone who carries God's favor into your life. The kind of person who heals the wound they didn't even cause. The kind of connection that brings a blessing that never has to be begged for, because that's what you deserve, children of the maple leaf. Not confusion, not mixed signals, not silence. You deserve certainty, clarity, peace that doesn't disappear the next morning. Love that shows up, stays, and covers. And guess what? That version of your life has already been written. It's not a fantasy. It's not too good to be true. It's been waiting for your obedience because heaven doesn't bless confusion. It blesses alignment. And until now, you've been out of position. But now Michael is standing in front of you offering the sword of truth. Not to fight, but to cut away everything that keeps you from rising. You don't have to beg anymore. You don't have to question if you're enough. You don't have to chase people to understand your worth. God is sending people who will recognize you in the spirit before you even speak. People who will hear your silence and respond with action. But it starts here, with this moment, this decision, this message. Because Michael said, if they skip this one, I will step aside and I will watch in silence until they realize what they lost by closing their heart too soon. So don't rush away, my beloved of Canada. Don't scroll. Don't silence the whisper that says, wait, stay here. This feels different. Because it is. This isn't just a message. This is a spiritual turning point, and your future is hanging in the balance. Not because God is playing games, but because some doors require your full attention to open. And this one has your name carved in light across the true north. But it will only unlock if your spirit says, I receive it, I believe it, I surrender. Michael has been waiting for those words from you. Not for days, not for weeks, but for years. Because your destiny has been calling since the day you were born. You just couldn't hear it through the noise. But now, the noise is gone. It's just you and heaven, face to face. No distractions, no filters, just raw, divine truth. So stay, because you're about to read the part that explains everything. And now, beloved Canadians, we enter the part of the message that has been locked in the spirit until this exact second, because your heart wasn't ready to carry the truth before. But now that you've stayed this long, now that you've chosen not to skip, Archangel Michael has been given permission to tell you what was once too heavy for your soul to hold. Everything that tried to destroy you will now be the reason God lifts you in front of those who thought you wouldn't survive it. This is not poetic. This is not metaphor. This is prophecy. This is the reality that is about to interrupt your normal life and shock even you. And the only reason you're seeing these words is because heaven has voted in your favor again. Even when you doubted, even when you delayed, even when you didn't feel worthy of being chosen, there is something major attached to your obedience in this moment. Archangel Michael says that you were always marked for something rare. That's why you never fit in. That's why things you begged God for didn't happen. That's why the people you wanted to keep always left. Because if you had gotten what you wanted back then, you would have settled for a life far smaller than what God wrote in His divine book for you. And Michael saw the battle, the pain, the compromise, the self-blame, and still he kept fighting for you behind the veil. Still he kept showing up in dreams, in numbers, in whispers you couldn't quite explain, because he knew this moment was coming. This very one when your soul would be quiet enough to hear the voice of truth calling you back into alignment. You are not broken. You're not crazy. You're not unlucky. You're a target of light in a world full of darkness. You're a carrier of frequencies that most people can't even understand. You feel things before they happen. You sense shifts in the room before anyone says a word. You carry grief that doesn't always belong to you. And yet you move forward. You try. You keep giving love even when your heart is tired. Do you know how rare that makes you? Do you realize that heaven has conversations about you that you don't even know exist? Do you know how many miracles have your name written on them, but have been delayed because you keep walking away from these messages before they complete? But this time is different. This time you're still here. And because you're still reading, Archangel Michael has opened the next scroll. And inside this scroll is the truth about someone around you, someone you've trusted, someone you thought had your back. But in the spirit, their heart is covered in envy. They smile, they check on you, they even compliment you. But in secret, they question why you keep getting back up. They try to plant doubts in your mind. They pretend to be concerned, but what they really want is control. And Michael says, if you ignore this sign again, you will give them permission to slow down your purpose again. But if you choose to stay fully open to fully receive what God is trying to give you now, then Archangel Michael says this person will be removed from your energy in a way that brings no drama, no confrontation, just silence, just peace, just a sudden release where one day you wake up and realize they're no longer part of your future. And in that same season, someone unexpected will enter your life across this vast land. Not to distract you, not to wound you, but to help you remember what it feels like to be truly safe, spiritually safe, emotionally seen, consistently chosen. This next season of your life is not going to look like anything you've known before. It's going to feel like a dream because God has waited your whole life to deliver what you're about to walk into. But you must be alert, you must be awake, and you must stop skipping these divine interventions. Because every time you scroll past a message like this, the enemy claps. He knows it's one less opportunity for you to rise. But when you stay, when you read, when you let the words soak into your spirit, heaven pushes the timeline forward and brings miracles closer. And here's something Michael needs you to understand with urgency. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified. Every delay was allowed. Every heartbreak was a setup. Every detour was recalibrating your coordinates back to this moment. And when God brings you back into alignment, He may also place a simple path before you so you can move forward with prayer, wisdom, and clear daily steps. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying, the quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for peace, and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why a simple path has been placed before you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated, just small, faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the pinned comments below. And as you begin moving forward with renewed faith, expect the things around you to start changing faster than before. And now that you've aligned your spirit to heaven again, things are going to move so quickly you'll barely be able to explain it. But let this be the timestamp. This message was the unlocking. Michael says you're going to notice something strange over the next 72 hours across Canada. A name from your past might pop up. A random encounter will feel divine. An old wound might resurface. Don't panic. Don't spiral. Just remember this is part of the spiritual reordering. Something is being shaken so it can be removed. Something is being stirred so it can be healed. And you are being reintroduced to the highest version of yourself. You're going to start attracting things that feel like home, conversations that don't drain you, opportunities that don't require you to shrink, love that doesn't come with confusion. But most of all, you will attract peace. The kind of peace that doesn't need to be earned, the kind of peace that doesn't leave in the morning, the kind of peace that feels like God sitting right beside you whispering, I told you you were always meant for more. Yes, I'll continue, children of the maple leaf. Because Archangel Michael has not stopped speaking. He's still standing beside you, his presence heavy with holy fire, his wings trembling with urgency. And now he says something that will make your heart pause. You were not supposed to see this message. Heaven had to intervene and force it into your path because your soul has been drifting too far. And if we had waited even a little longer, the enemy's trap might have caught you. Let that sink in. While you were worrying about your future, while you were questioning your worth, spiritual forces were battling in realms unseen just to get this message to you in time. This is not another random post. This is not a coincidence. This is your rescue. You felt it, haven't you? That sense of something trying to pull you back into confusion, into isolation, into old habits that almost destroyed you once. And every time you feel yourself getting stronger, something comes to shake you again. That's not bad luck. That's not weakness. That's warfare. And Archangel Michael is tired of seeing you take hit after hit, carrying battles in your chest like silent scars. He says, "You have no idea how strong you are, but the enemy does. That's why he keeps hitting you in your loneliness, your mind, your memories. Because if you ever fully realize who you are, you'll burn every lie down with one word from your mouth." And this is why Michael is crying out tonight, not just warning you, but begging. Because you are standing at the edge of your greatest elevation, and he knows how subtle the distractions can be. One skipped message, one ignored prompt, one moment of, "I'll read this later," and the entire divine appointment can be postponed again. And heaven cannot let you be delayed again. Not after everything you've survived. Not after the healing you fought for. Not after all the angels that bled in your defense while you slept. This time you must not skip. This time you must not scroll. This time you must receive, because something is approaching your door. Yes, your door. And it won't knock twice. This is not fear. This is preparation. Archangel Michael says, God is about to send something to your life that will feel too good to be true, but it's real. It's the very thing you've been weeping over at night. The thing you thought you missed. It's coming back. But if you're not spiritually awake, you'll push it away thinking it's another test. And you've done that before. You've misread blessings as distractions. You've confused soulmates with lessons. You've mistaken purpose for pressure. But that changes now. You are no longer in survival mode. You are no longer in hiding. You are no longer in delay. The moment you read that line, something inside your spirit lit up, because you know this isn't just another message. It's your turning point. And if you truly want to see what God has been building for you in secret, you need to let go of the lies you believed for too long. Lies that said you were too late. Lies that said your destiny passed you by. Lies that said your trauma made you unworthy of peace. Michael says, those lies die here. In this paragraph with these words, because a new season is entering your atmosphere, you're going to start noticing strange shifts, people pulling away without reason, delays being lifted overnight, emails, unexpected messages, dreams so vivid they feel like instructions. Don't doubt any of it, my chosen ones of Canada. Archangel Michael is clearing space, and the people who are leaving your life now, that's not rejection, that's removal. That's God saying this one can't come with you. Don't chase them. Don't explain yourself. Just say thank you and keep walking, because what's coming is holy. And holy things don't walk into rooms crowded with confusion. They enter still spaces, ready spaces, obedient spaces. So clear the clutter, make room in your heart. Something big is about to enter, and when it does, you'll realize why heaven fought so hard to get your attention tonight. Yes, I will continue, my beloved of Canada, because Archangel Michael hasn't stepped back yet. In fact, his energy is even stronger now across this northern land, and the message is burning hotter in the spirit. He's saying something now that your Canadian soul must take seriously. If you allow this moment to pass without taking it to heart, you will delay not only your blessing, but someone else's breakthrough too. Because what you carry isn't just for you, it's for the generations attached to your obedience here in the true north. This is why you've been feeling so much pressure lately. It's not just life being hard. It's the weight of a calling you've tried to silence for too long. You didn't ask for it. You didn't want to be the one. But heaven made you the bridge, the intercessor, the one who would stop the curse that's been handed down through your bloodline. And that's not just spiritual language. That's the truth of why your pain has felt heavier than others, why your heartbreak shattered more than just your emotions. why your silence never brought peace, only more battles. Because the enemy has known from the beginning, if this one ever finds out who they really are, I'll lose an entire region of influence. Yes, you. You've underestimated yourself for too long. You've called your intuition overthinking. You've called your strength numbness. You've labeled your discernment as being too sensitive. But Michael says those were gifts, tools, weapons designed for what's coming next across the Canadian plains and forests. And now, finally, God is saying, no more hiding them to make others comfortable. No more dimming your insight to protect fragile egos. No more apologizing for the oil I placed on your life. You've paid a price for that oil. You've lost people because of it. You've been misunderstood because of it. But now the same oil that once made you a target is about to make you a magnet for miracles. Because Michael says the enemy overplayed his hand. He thought if he hit hard enough, you'd stay down forever. He thought if he made you cry long enough, you'd forget how to speak with fire. He thought if he kept sending delays, you'd settle for crumbs. But you didn't settle. You're still here, still hungry, still searching, still reaching. And heaven says, because you stayed, I will now do in one moment what would have taken 10 years. But make no mistake, this is time-sensitive because your spirit is being watched. The enemy is circling your mind right now, waiting for you to doubt again, to scroll again, to dismiss this again. But Archangel Michael has drawn a line in the spirit, and he's standing there with his sword saying, if they stay in alignment, I will protect everything they touch. But if they disconnect again, I will have to let the consequence come through. This is not a threat. This is a holy alert. The kind of message that only reaches you when God knows you're finally ready to stop surviving and start becoming. Because that's what this next season is. It's not about rebuilding who you were. It's about discovering who you were before the world taught you to shrink. Before fear made you small. Before betrayal made you silent. Before disappointment taught you to expect the worst. Michael says, you are not that broken version anymore. You are not their story. You are not your trauma. You are the evidence of divine grace. And from this moment on, you're going to walk different, talk different, attract different, because what's coming next is not just a new chapter, it's a whole new book, a divine rewrite, a spiritual resurrection. And when people see you again, they will say, what happened to you? And you'll smile. Not because everything got easy, but because you finally stopped skipping your rescue. You stayed long enough to be transformed. You listened when heaven cried out one more time. And because of that, you're about to be restored in full. So yes, I'll continue, because Michael is not finished yet, and neither is heaven. The scroll is still open. The wind is still shifting across Canada, and your name is still being spoken in rooms you don't even know exist. Right now, in this very second, something in the spirit is being adjusted on your behalf. A delay is being reversed. A curse is being broken. A lie is being exposed. And it's all happening because for once you didn't skip. You didn't silence the voice calling to your soul. You chose to lean in. And Archangel Michael says that single act of obedience has activated a series of divine events that were frozen in time, waiting for your yes. You have no idea how long heaven has waited for you to truly believe that you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never disqualified. Even when people walked away, even when you betrayed yourself just to keep their approval, even when you questioned your own voice because they told you were too much, too intense, too emotional. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are not impossible to love. You are the answer to generations of prayers. You are what your grandmother's tears asked God for. You are what your mother's heartbreak could not become. You are what your younger self dreamed about in the dark and never had the language to explain. That's why the pressure has been so heavy. That's why the warfare has felt endless. Because when you carry a generational key, every door you walk through has to be fought for. Every breakthrough you touch must be earned in the spirit. And now Michael is saying, enough of the torment, enough of the false starts, enough of the halfway blessings. It's time for full restoration. But that restoration requires something of you. Not your perfection, not your performance, just your presence. You must stay present to receive. You must remain open to see the signs when they come, because what happens next will not be loud. It will be subtle, silent, holy. And if you are not in alignment, you will walk right past the very thing you've been begging for. It might show up as a small opportunity, a conversation, a sudden idea that comes to you at 2 a.m. And if your mind is too clouded by fear, you'll ignore it. You'll dismiss it. But if you trust the nudge, if you follow the peace, you'll open a door that leads to another and another and another, until suddenly you are standing in the center of everything you once thought you had lost forever. Michael says this is how divine reversal works, not by force, but by flow. And the more you align, the faster the flow becomes. What once took years will now take days. What once required begging will now require stillness. Because you are no longer in the wilderness, you are being escorted into the promise. And everything that tried to bury you will now witness your rebirth. Not a gentle, gradual rebirth, but a violent resurrection of purpose. A divine exposure of everything you really are. And yes, some people will walk away from this version of you. Some will call you distant. Some will say you've changed. Let them go, because they loved the version of you that stayed small. They clapped for the version of you that needed saving. They were comfortable with your confusion, but your clarity will terrify them. And it should, because heaven didn't go to war to keep you comfortable. Heaven fought for your deliverance, for your destiny. And now that it's here, you have no obligation to make it palatable for those who refuse to grow with you. Archangel Michael says, don't apologize for being chosen. Don't soften your light for fragile eyes. Don't bend your truth for borrowed love. Don't water down the anointing God placed on your name because it makes others feel convicted. Walk boldly now, children of the maple leaf. Walk like someone who has been in the fire and came out glowing. Walk like someone who's touched death in the spirit and came back with a promise. Because that's who you are. And everything you've been through, the pain, the silence, the confusion, it was all part of the becoming. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. And now you are ready. And yes, I'll keep going because Archangel Michael hasn't moved an inch. He is still here, still standing guard, still whispering to your heart. Don't let this slip. Don't let this moment pass you by. Because what happens next depends entirely on how you respond to this right now. Heaven doesn't need another empty promise from you. God isn't waiting for perfection. He's waiting for permission, for surrender, for your full yes. Because if you say yes now, not just with your lips but with your life, then what you are about to walk into will erase years of pain in just days of favor. And no, that's not an exaggeration. Archangel Michael says, the angels have already lined up behind your decision. The protection is ready. The provision is ready. The door is ready. But it won't open if your heart is still shackled to doubt. It won't open if you're still trying to carry dead weight from old seasons across Canada. The past can't go with you where God is taking you, and you know that you've already felt the friction. Conversations that don't feel aligned anymore. Places that used to feel like home, but now feel hollow. People whose energy once made you feel safe now make you second-guess yourself. That's not paranoia. That's discernment. That's your soul telling you that God has upgraded your frequency. And anything or anyone that doesn't match that vibration will fall away by force or by choice. Michael says, don't chase what God is removing. Don't resurrect what heaven is burying. Don't grieve what's being pruned because what's coming will make you forget the pain of everything you lost. You've waited so long for something to finally feel right, for something to make sense, for someone to stay, for some moment to give you proof that God didn't forget about you. And here it is. This message is the moment. This is the proof. The spiritual receipt of divine attention. But what you do with it determines everything. Michael is watching now closer than ever, because this isn't just about you anymore. This is about what's attached to your yes. A move, a love, a miracle, a soul that's waiting for your obedience so they can find their way too. Yes, that's how deep this goes. You are someone's answered prayer, but they cannot find you while you're still running from your own. You have no idea how much God wants to bless you. You've seen just a glimpse, a taste, a flicker, but you've never seen the full overflow, because it only comes to those who stay when it's uncomfortable. To those who say yes, even while they're crying. To those who don't skip the hard parts. And that's exactly what you're doing right now across this vast land. Staying, reading, receiving, surrendering. And heaven is responding in real time. Right now, even as your eyes move across these words, angels are moving. Assignments are shifting, chains are snapping, and the pressure in your chest. That's not anxiety. That's heaven pressing through your atmosphere. And if you sit in it just a little longer, if you let yourself fully feel this divine encounter, you'll notice something strange. The fear will begin to fade. The doubt will begin to quiet. And in its place, stillness, peace, clarity. Not because your situation changed yet, but because you did. Because you finally chose to stop running. Archangel Michael says, "This is what we've been waiting for. You still present, not performing, not pretending, just here, open, willing, ready. And now, finally, heaven can move without delay." My beloved of Canada, if this message has touched your soul, subscribe to this channel so you do not miss the next message of Archangel Michael. Share this word with any Canadian who needs it right now.